morning and welcome to today's Dashcam Diary of Disabled with me, chronically happy. And I had some balls on these chin. Alright. Yeah, I'm in a jokey mood. It looks like I got a black eye today. I am so puffed up. Oh man. It's been kind of a rough morning already. I'm running extremely late. And it's flipping cold. Ugh. The rain is just, it chills you to the bone. It's not like the cold and rain on the East Coast. Like that chills you to the bone. Like this, it does, but it doesn't to the extent on the East Coast. Like West Coast is different from East, 100%. Weather is just nuts. And today's thing is nuts, apparently, and balls. I don't feel that rested. I've been having quite a bit of head pain. I've had lots of headaches. This concussion stuff is no flipping joke. I have never hit my head before like this, ever. I've always had to protect this moneymaker. And the fact that I hit my head really just, it bothers me for one, and two, man, the cognitive issues are just redonkulous. I'm debating on any kind of shopping therapy after my appointments. I have my chiropractor, and then I have my primary care physician almost right after that. So, Stormy Dog's gonna be in the car chilling for like a couple hours today. I'm always in the hopes that it's not raining and not extremely wet when I'm done with my appointment, so we can go to the park and play. But I don't think we're going to the park to play again, and I feel so bad for her because she doesn't have that big of a space inside the house to play. Between my mom, dad, and me, health issues punched me in the face. My health issues punched me in the face and beat me up. I believe it's from my mast cell reactions. I did eat some special sauce on my In-N-Out burger. Totally forgot that they use a sauce that has probably a tomato base in it. And I forgot to tell them no tomatoes also, because tomatoes are one of my mast cell triggers. So knowing what my mast cell triggers are very important. And I had a very long conversation with my friend Celia up in Portland about mast cell triggers, and she's trying to say that it's been backwards for her. It wasn't food that triggered the mast cell, it was stress that triggered the mast cell, and then the body's inappropriate response to the stress caused her to have reactions to food. Well, she thinks that she can eat those foods and she has no problems. I think she's 100% wrong, and I think she's in denial. But only you know your body best. Who am I to argue with her body or not, you know? I realized during the conversation, so I kind of like stepped back and was like, hey, I'm not trying to tell you that you're wrong. I'm not trying to devalue you. I have this problem of dismissing people's concerns because my mom has done it. It's a learned behavior, and I'm trying to rewire my brain not to do that. It's like fighting your own characteristic trait, and it sucks. And it's a sucky trait, and it's something I wish to change. So I'm actively, when I become aware that I'm doing this, I instantly backtrack and apologize, because that really triggers people. It really triggers me when people do it to me. And so I try to treat others with the same respect that I would like to receive, and not have my concerns dismissed. Type of gaslighting. It's a learned behavior, whether it was from my mom, and still is here and there, and then also doctors and people I interact with on the day-to-day. I don't currently have much of that behavior directed at me, but when I do, I get so defensive. I get triggered. My nervous system gets ramped up, and then my mind is a mile a minute trying to figure out, like, how can I convince this person I'm not really doing the thing that they say that I'm doing. It's so hard. It's so hard to rewire your brain, but it's not impossible. It just takes practice, and practice never makes perfect. I hate that saying. I wish that saying never would have been popular at all whenever it was invented. Practice gets better. Practice makes things better, but never perfect. There's no such thing as perfect. There is perfectly imperfect, but there's no real just perfect anything. Unless there's something in nature that's perfect, but I really don't think there is. But there's some great, I forget what the heck they're called, but I'm going to have to look it up later when I have time, when I'm not driving, interacting with lives. And, but sometimes those people won't recover from something if they hit rock bottom, and they will just unalive themselves. There's so much to say about tough love, but also nurturing love. We all need nurturing love, and we all don't receive that growing up. You know, I felt the love, but I'd have to say, okay, here's a great freaking example. Like, I had so many flashbacks. It's hard for me to talk about my childhood, but like watching the documentary Martha, oh my gosh, it's just like my mom. My mom is like Martha Stewart. And Martha became humbled by going to prison. She was a very tough cookie, but also my mom kind of got raised in the same kind of family. Like, I watched that documentary and I thought about my mom's life and the things that she has told me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish my mom would watch this documentary. But I don't think my mom would. My mom has no interest in learning about certain celebrities or certain, people in the media. She doesn't watch that kind of stuff. I'm really feeling my feelings today. But it's just like my mom just denies therapy. I'm trying to get her to go so many times, but you gotta want to help yourself. My mom is so damn stubborn, but she's so stubborn in some of the wrong ways. Just like I'm stubborn in some of the wrong ways too, just like my mom. I always fought so hard to be not like my mom. I want to be more like my dad. But my dad has some underlying anger issues too. And it's because of his pain. It's because of some of his experiences in life. He grew up good with my mom. The story basically of my dad marrying a woman on the wrong side of the tracks, but not really. I mean, it's just my mom's family was more in poverty than my dad's family. They were the same size families. Both grandparents had 8 kids each. That's really freaking hard to do, to raise that many flipping kids and have enough money to raise that many flipping kids. And who's going to watch those flipping kids? And the majority of my mom's side of the family dropped out of high school, didn't get a full high school education. Some of them went back, including my mom. My mom went back to get her GED, but not all of my family members graduated high school, and that's why my mom was dead set on me graduating high school and not allowing me to drop out when I felt like dropping out. She wouldn't let me. I resented her for that for a little bit, but now I think I'm glad that she made me, but still, who knows what route I would have gone if I had dropped out. I would not have certainly joined the military, and I probably would have ended up in a bad situation because the people I hung out with, the things that I was doing in high school, I'm very lucky to be alive. That's all I've got to say. I made it through the hardest years of one's life, and that's high school. You learn how the world works, kind of, in high school with social interactions. I feel like those are the most formative years of your life. After the hormones hit and everything changes, that's when people need the most attention and one-on-one time. Not that they don't need it when they're younger, they do, but and those earlier years in a person's development really do affect that person later in life. especially the relationships within your family and your mom and dad. If that mom and dad nurture and nature is not, your environment is what I'm calling nature, your environment. If your nature and nurture are both not aligned, there's so much breakdown. I mean, almost everybody, I hate to stigmatize and stereotype, but I'm telling you, broken homes really make a lot of broken people. Broken homes cause broken people when they are forced to deal with situations that they're not prepared and ready to cope with, and then not having, like, I'm also taking some of this from, like, Justin Bieber. Look what he had to deal with at such a very young age, at the age of 15. Really are formative. I really believe it's more formative years of how you're going to be as an adult with how you act in high school and who you are in high school. It really does somewhat determine who you're going to be as an adult. You've got to start making your decisions in high school. But your brain's not fully developed in that until the age of 25. So, I mean, really, the first 5 years of my military, I'm trying to think of where all I was stationed. It was in Georgia. I was 2 years in Denver, and that duty station in Denver, I mean, there was nobody on my work crew or nobody on the watch floor that didn't get along with each other, and we were a big family. And but the ship life creates almost like a codependent relationship with everybody on that ship, because you have to depend on each other. And so it kind of forces people to be codependent in a very not healthy way sometimes, because not everybody's created equal. Not everybody came from the same kind of walk of life. And that's when my sexual harassment started, was on my ship. And so it really hurt when the people I trusted the most in my chain of command to take care of me, when they totally betrayed my trust. And that's when I really broke down, was on my ship. Even though they were some of the best years of my life, they were some of the worst. And I do miss the camaraderie, as messed up as some of the camaraderie was. I miss that, being able to count on others to help you out, because it doesn't happen in civilian life at all. Unless it's in a decent family, and the family does depend on each other, even as adults, and when you move out from each other, it matters. So, anyway, I'm at my appointment. It's time to cry about whatever with my chiropractor. He's like a therapist too. Who knows how he's going to steer the conversation today. So, anyways, that's my couple thoughts for now. I may or may not continue this video. I may post it. I may not. We'll see. Peace out. I love you all. Good day.